Hello and welcome to Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Hello. I'm not sure if I need my entire body in this picture, but anyway, welcome to Let Me Bore You to Sleep. My name's Jason Newland. Over there is Vinnie, Andre Newland, my little sidekick. And you, yeah. Yes, you are. And please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. So this is going to be, I wasn't going to do this week, but this is going to be Q&A Friday. Get off the table. Off the table. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? So it's gone from him not wanting anything to do with the podcast to wanting to be on the podcast all the time. Like instantly, as soon as I moved this chair here, he's become part of it. Which I thought he might a little bit want to come up, but I didn't know he'd just be wanting my attention like this. This is kind of, yeah. Anyway, so just let you know, I have, for those listening on the podcast, I have a YouTube channel, Jason Newland, if you search me on there. And also for those watching on the YouTube, I have a podcast. Just search for me. Just search for Let Me Bore You to Sleep on all of the main podcast hosts and you'll find me. I also do hypnosis recordings as well as hypnosis videos. Blimey. And I also do a vlog, Jason Chats, also. So, yeah. Vinnie, your sausage roll is showing. Stop it. Move. Put your towel down. Your sausage, stop it. Your pencil sharpener. So, what I decided to do is, because I've not asked anybody any questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do questions, take questions from Vinnie. So, that's what I'm going to do today on this Q&A Friday. So, the first question he's asked me, I've asked him to ask me these questions. The first one is, why do you keep mentioning Andre? And it's like a double one, like, why do you keep mentioning Andre? And why do you keep calling me Andre? I sometimes accidentally call him Andre. So, my answer to that, Vinnie, if you're listening, is actually just there. You can't see him, but he's staring over there right now. I think because I think about Andre still. Just because he's not here, he's there. If you can see that little brown box behind me on over there, that's his urn. That's Andre's urn. And I think about him every day. I do. It might be strange. Might like, why would you think about a ferret? Some people would like argue possibly, but I do. I think about him every day, and sometimes because I've got all these all the videos that I've got of him generally, I think are now on YouTube. So I watch some of those videos sometimes, and because I talk about him on this podcast, occasionally I'll call Vinnie Andre. By accident, I don't mean to. And he wants to know who Andre was. So I've shown him a picture, because I've got a picture up there which was painted for me. Yay! Thank you. I can't get to it because it means moving. And if you look at me, you can see I clearly don't like to move. But what I might try and do is get that picture somewhere like that, have it so that you can see it. Maybe next time I'll get it down. So who was Andre? Andre, Vinnie, you listening? Andre was your brother, your younger brother, and unfortunately he passed away before you were even born. Yes, he did, before you was even born. And I sometimes think he's the reincarnation because he's so naughty. He's got so much of the mannerisms is similar to the mannerisms that Andre had. But so Vinny, Andre was your little brother. I had him from a baby pretty much until he was 6.5 years old. Yeah, and that's it really. I've shown him. I'll show you videos of him so you can see. So anyone that's watching that doesn't know who Andre was, he was. There's quite a few videos of him on YouTube. Blimey, there's a lot of banging going on downstairs. Like really loud banging. That's weird. Not good banging. Not like, well, it's worrying banging. I don't know what the heck that was. Anyway, so if you want to find out about Andre, maybe check out the videos. I mean, not everybody listening to this podcast either would know who Andre was. A lot of people would do because I've talked about him a lot. And some people used to listen when I had Andre. So I was constantly talking about him, just the same way as I'm talking about Vinny these days. So it's just one of those things, really. It's, I guess he wants to know who he is and why I'm always going on about him. He was my little son, Vinny. He was my first son, and you're my second son. Yeah, you're my youngest now. Yeah. I don't know how they would have got on. Really. Because even though he's got that instinct to chase small animals, in all fairness, he's got that there. At the same time, Andre was more aggressive than he is. I think Andre would have just gone at him, and Vinny would have been scared after that, like he is with cats. He won't ever mess with a cat now because he got into a fight with a cat, and the cat beat him up. Didn't really beat him up, but he scared Vinny. The cat, I don't know what he did, but he scared him, and he will never ever approach another cat ever. Because he literally, if a cat is lying on the pavement, he will walk very slowly around the cat. Now, in the past, he always used to chase any cat he saw. Weird, isn't it? You gonna have your num-nums, Vin? Go and have your dinner. Your dinner's over there. He's just wandering around. I think he's a little bit perplexed because I've changed stuff around, and he doesn't really know. I was now laying at my feet. Maybe he won't spend a lot of time up there. Maybe he will just go back to being on the floor again. I don't know. I mean, there's a chance that it might be quite warm in here because I've got 4 lights on. I don't know how bright it is, if it's bright enough for the video, but I've got 4 lights. I've closed the curtains purposely, even though it's like 4:30 or 4:45. I wanted the sunlight out of here just so I could see what it's like at night and that, if it's going to be bright enough to make videos. But it seems okay. I can't stop looking in the light because it's making my eyes go weird. So yeah, what other questions did he have? Oh yeah, why he wants to know why he's not allowed to eat chocolate. How come he's not allowed to eat chocolate but I am? Well, I don't eat chocolate anymore. So that question's a bit invalid. But as for your answer, Vinny, if you're listening, is I don't know what he's doing. He's looking for something. He's always up to something. He's looking to grab something off the top. I don't know what it is he's looking for. So, yeah, I tried to explain to him that you can't eat chocolate because it's poisonous. And he said, well, so it's good for you then, is it? It's healthy for you, is it? I said, no. He said, is it good for you? Is it like nutritional? Has nutritional value, does it? He's a little bit arrogant, not a little bit annoying sometimes. And I said, Vinny, don't. We're recording. You're part of the recording now, but not that much of the recording that I want you to be barking. Because if you bark, you'll have to go in the bedroom. So there. And he was saying, oh, so it's healthy, is it? It's healthy for you, but it's bad for me. Is that what you're saying? And then I said, well, I'm not saying it's healthy for humans, but it's not poisonous in the same way. He said, okay, let me ask you in a different way. Is sugar classed as a vitamin? I said, no, sugar is not classed as a vitamin. Well, is it something that a doctor would prescribe to you so to make you feel better? I said, no, it probably isn't something like that either, no. He said, so would you potentially agree that sugar isn't healthy for you? I said, okay, maybe it's not healthy for you, but it's not poisonous in the same way as it might be for a dog. And he picked me up straight away. Might be. It's a little bit different from is. Definitely is. Might be. Different wording. It has a different outcome, really, don't you think? Okay, well, I'm not going to risk it. I've heard that it's not good for dogs, and I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to give you chocolate because I want to keep you around. I want you to be well. He said, okay. And he didn't say anything after that. And this was a couple of days ago. So I'm sitting here with his mum, who's a neighbour that's where I got him from when he was 10 months old. He loves her so much. She's sitting here and we're just chatting. I say she's sitting there. I was sitting over there because we didn't have this. No, I might have had. No. I did have this chair here because it was Wednesday. It's now Friday. So I'm looking over there. And she's looking at. She might not have been looking at me. She might have been looking at the telly. But we were in the same room. We were talking together. And she said, she was just I don't know what we were talking about, scarecrows or something like that. And she suddenly said, what's that he's got? I said, I don't know. She said, it's chocolate. I said, it's not chocolate. How can it be chocolate? First of all, I haven't had any chocolate for months. Secondly, I wasn't aggressive. At first, I haven't had any chocolate, and I can't remember the last time I've even bought any chocolate. But I thought, well, let's just. She said it's chocolate. I said no. I went over and it was chocolate. I don't know where it came from. It was a little Bounty bar, but he had the wrapper, so I'm hoping it wasn't the entire bar. It might just been a wrapper that maybe got underneath the settee, like years ago or something at Christmas. I struggled to get it out of his mouth, really. He hasn't been ill, he wasn't ill, nothing like that. So he only had it for like probably half a minute. Because she was watching him anyway. Because we watch him when he's here. We kind of watch to see what he does. And he loves having both of us here at the same time. Don't you? couldn't believe it. A chocolate wrapper. But one of those, it wasn't like a big bar. You know the little, you know the tubs? I don't know if you get them in your country. I'm going on that tubs, but they're just little tubs of Quality Street or Celebrations, stuff like that. That usually are quite popular at Christmas time and things like that. So things like that, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other festivals like Christmas, maybe Easter. So it's one of them, a tiny little thing, but it was an unwrapped wrapper. Now, he's not the most dexterous with his fingers to unwrap something. And if he'd had a chocolate, if it was a whole chocolate, we would have seen him trying to rip off the thing, so I'd have seen that. And because I'd been tidying up on the Wednesday, I mean, it might simply have been it fell off. Maybe it was on the table, which was covered in junk, and it fell off the table when I was tidying up. Or it might have been behind the bookcase. I mean, you know, I don't leave chocolate on the floor. I don't leave it. I don't eat chocolate anymore. But when I did eat chocolate, I didn't leave it on the floor. For Andre, I did because he liked chocolate. Occasionally, I mean, it'd have a. I remember once. This is funny. I had a friend round. I was sitting over there, I think. That's when my desk was over there. He was sitting over here in the chair, the black chair that I don't have anymore, that we used to be facing over there, and the TV was on the wall, or on the, yeah, I think it was on the wall, I think. Anyway, I got a Twix, only little Twixes in a packet. So I think I had bought a packet of 6 Twixes, and I want one now. But they're only small, but they're all individually wrapped. I gave him one, and I had one for me. And he put his just on the seat. So we're chatting, and I open mine, I start eating it. And I said, "Aren't you going to eat your Twix?" And he said, "Oh yeah." He couldn't find it. Could not find it. So I think I might have gave him another one, or I just said, "No, you find it. You eat that one. Eat the one I gave you. You're not having another one. You had your chance, and if you don't eat what I give you, if you can't even keep hold of a little Twix, then you don't deserve another one." That's what I said. I didn't. Could not find it. It turned up about 6 months later, and I think it was hidden in his cage or something. It was like hidden underneath his clothes. It was like hidden somewhere where he nested, because he had a few little nests around where he'd go to sleep and stuff. And he used to hoard stuff as well. I found it. Wasn't opened. It was mouldy, I think, but it wasn't. So it might have been a year. Might be 10 years later. Wasn't 10 years later. So yeah, that was weird. So, what's your third question, Vinny? Why don't I wear socks? We already talked about that in the. He's asking me a question that I already talked about on our walk in the park on my Jason Chats video. I'll mention it anyway. I've talked about this before. The reason basically he was trying to bite my shoes again, and because I got no socks on, he gets straight through to the skin sometimes. He doesn't mean to, I hope. But if I put a pillow on there, that might raise him up and you'll be able to see him. Yeah. All little bits and bobs that'll make it more enjoyable for people watching if he's here. I feel like one of those evil villains stroking his pussy instead. But I haven't got any pussy to stroke. I've got a little dog instead. Yeah. Wow, he's happy. It's weird considering he doesn't seem to even like me. He wants to be near me. Strange. So, yeah, so basically, he asks, so why do I not wear socks? Well, I haven't worn socks since about, I'm not sure, it was January maybe. Maybe it was December, I'm not sure. But I had a dream. No, it's not a dream. And in the dream, I saw an elephant on a mountain that said, "Don't wear socks." It wasn't that kind of dream. It was something was chasing me. And I was running. And then it dawned on me that if I just turn around and kick this thing, the force of it running towards me and me suddenly stopping and kicking would be like overwhelming for that thing. It would do the trick. So that's what I did. I kicked, and I kicked the hardest I've probably ever kicked in my life. But unfortunately, I didn't just kick in my dream. I kicked in real life as well. And I woke up because I just kicked the wall. Knocked my nail, took half my nail off. And wow. So I broke my toe. But it was really, I mean, I know obviously a broken toe is going to be, it's either broken or fractured, but it was definitely damaged, proper damaged. And there was a dent in the wall from my finger, my toenail. It was like it had taken some of probably the paint rather than the plaster out, but hurt so much. And I couldn't put a sock on. I tried to put socks on and I just couldn't do it. Too painful. So for, I don't know, 2 months or whatever it took for it to heal, I think it took about more than 2 months until it was like proper fine. I didn't wear any socks, and then I just got used to it. And this was during the winter. Just got used to not wearing socks. And once the summer came, and spring and summer, and I just like, oh, don't need socks anymore. It's weird, isn't it? So that's why I don't wear socks. I never planned to not wear socks. It wasn't my dream. I wasn't on my to-do list. It wasn't on my bucket list to not wear socks. It just happened. It just came about. A bit like diarrhea. No, it's not like diarrhea, but it just happened. That's weird. I'm seeing the world very differently from this seat. I'm looking at the room and it looks very different from. I've never sat here before, apart from when I have sat here. I mean, which would have been like a few hours ago. But I mean, generally, I've never sat. I've sat in this corner, but facing that way in my big black chair that I had, the big black squeaky chair. I've never sat facing this way towards the door, towards the TV, although there's no point in having the TV on sitting in this chair because it's not comfortable enough to sit and relax for watching TV. It's good for making podcasts, it's good for videos, it's good for meditating, but it's not because it does keep my back relatively flat or straight, which is quite good, but it's not necessarily, it's not kind of, yeah, it's not like the most relaxing chair. It's comfortable-ish, but I wouldn't want to be sitting in it for hours and hours. But it'd be perfect for a counselling room. That'd be fine, because, you know, if in a counselling room, you want the client to feel comfortable but not too comfortable. You know, they're not come for a nap. They've come for, apart from if they came to see me, then they probably fall asleep. But you generally, you want to be alert, a degree of alertness in a counselling room. So, you know, because, you know, a person talking about their life, talking about how they're feeling. And for me, this chair is like in between sitting down and standing up. It's not, sitting down would be that chair on the sofa where I kind of recline. That's sitting down. Lying down's in bed. Standing up is always when I stand up. But halfway, I would say, is in this chair, because it almost feels like I'm standing up, but without, I'm standing up and sitting down at the same time. So my back is at the same kind of thing as when I was like level or angle as I would be if I was standing up. It made so much sense to me microseconds before it came out of my mouth. Oh well. So yeah, I'm not sure what I was talking about then. So, what's the next question? I'm trying to think. What's the next question you had, Vin? Hey? Oh, you wanted to know why I was tidying up on Wednesday. Well, actually Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Why was I tidying up? And I explained to him it's because I had a flat inspection. Look at, I caught the sun, didn't I? Look. See my arms. Compared to the muscle. Definitely, yeah, caught the sun. You can see it there as well, look. See, that's the bit that never sees the sun. And that's the bit that does, just that bit. And my face, well, it's always pink and red and blimey. Crazy. So, why was I, he's like, why are you tidying up? I said, well, it's because I got a flat inspection, which I've talked about in yet the last Let Me Boy to Sleep podcast. And he said, well, so, because he doesn't really know what a flat inspection is. And I said, like, do you know what I mean when I say flat inspection? He looked at me and said, do you know? I tell you, he's getting too big for his boots. He is. And I said, yeah, I do know what it is. He said, what is it then? I said, well, it's an inspection of the flat. He said, no, you just said the words back to me. What does it actually mean? What's the relevance of it? What's the point of it? What is on the agenda of the person specifically coming round? Well, I don't know. I've got a list of things that they're going to be looking for. They want to see my ID. So I guess they're making sure that I'm not subletting. And that's kind of it. See if I've got a pet, and if the pet's a good pet, if he's a good boy or not. He said, what? I said, well, if they check if I've got any dogs to see if they're good. He said, because he was asking me this before they came. He said, what do you mean if they're good? I said, well, if they bark a lot. He said, so? Dogs bark. That's what dogs are supposed to do. We're supposed to bark. That's our job. I said, well, you know, there's a point where the barking can become problematic, maybe for the other tenants. And if you were to disturb the other tenants and they complained, it could cause problems for us, me and you. He said, I said, yeah. And I tell you, it's really weird. Wednesday morning, when the bloke knocked on the door about 12:30, the flat inspector on Wednesday, he barked like he always does that. But he'd already been in the building and knocked and visited two of the other flats, or at least two, maybe three, downstairs before knocking on mine. And Vinny did not make a sound. So that he was knocking on their doors, he came in, they would have been walking around, he'd have heard downstairs. I can't hear it, but he would have heard them talking. Didn't make a sound. Normally, he'd be barking every time anyone comes into the building. Rah, 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 rah. Wednesday, nothing. He barked when there was a knock on the door, which is what he's supposed to do. You know, it's natural for him. This is his home. This is his territory. He's defending it. He's letting whoever it is know that he's the boss, even though I'm the boss. Don't stop giggling, Vinny. And he's also excited. He gets excited to see people. I don't know if he would. Oh, blimey. I have to watch him because he's now put on his. Oh, you can't see him, but he's laying on his side, just on the armrest of the settee, just here. But he's. Oh, I wish there was a way of you seeing him. He looks so cute. But then he's saying, "Oh, what was the point of having the inspection, the flat inspection?" And I said, "Well, that's it. Just just to check that everything's all right." He said, "So why are you so worried then?" I said, "Who said I'm worried?" He said, "Well, you spent 3 days tidying up, moving things around, tidying, cleaning the bathroom, trying to clean the kitchen, hoovering up, dusting, moving stuff, moving furniture around, rearranging the living room, trying to tidy up the bedroom, putting clothes away, washing dirty clothes, all that stuff." I said, "Blast, you've really been taking notice of me. It's almost like you're spying on me." And he said, "I don't need to spy. We live together. I don't exactly have to set up some kind of hidden camera when I actually can just walk into the room and look at you." I said, "Okay, fair enough. I do follow you around most of the time, don't I?" I said, yeah, sometimes." And he said, "Well, why are you so worried?" I said, "Well, I wasn't so much worried," which is a lie, because I was. I don't know why. It's something about having someone I don't know, coming into my home. It's not nice, really. I have to do it because it's this is something that has to be done. But I can't say I enjoy it. I can't say that it made me feel all fuzzy and warm inside, the idea of it. But and then he said, "Well, why are you? What do you mean, warm and fuzzy? What's that about?" I said, "What I mean is, I wasn't necessarily looking forward to the person coming, but it has to be done. There's not a lot I can do." And he said, "Oh, okay. But I don't understand why you're so concerned. Why can't you just let them come in and see how you live?" And then we both laughed because, I'm a bit messy sometimes. A bit messy. I have a rule in life: if it falls on the floor, it stays on the floor. That's one of those things. I'm trying to change that rule, but it's a law I've had since I moved in here. If it falls on the floor, it stays on the floor. I mean, even my friend Luke, I remember he was trying to, I can't remember what it was. I think something spilt on the floor and he was trying to pick it up. I said, "No." And he went and got the vacuum cleaner. I said, "Turn it off, don't." He said, "No, I can't leave it there. I have to tidy it up." And we were arguing. I said, no, if it falls on the floor, it stays on the floor. And he didn't like it because he wanted a tidy. And I just had a rule. That was a rule, and I just couldn't move on from it. I was very blinkered with that particular rule. Very, very one-minded. Very limited, you could say. So I'm trying to think what other questions he had. Oh, he's rude. When am I going to start reading my books? Well, Vinny, I have read books. I've read quite a few of the books that are behind me or to the side of me. I haven't read all of them, admittedly, but I have read some. And some of them are just there for reference. You know, so if I'm going to do a new hypnosis recording on, for example, if I just grab this one out. This one is Hypnosis, Rewire Your Brain with Hypnotherapy, William Robertson, How to Remember Past Lives Through Guided Meditation Sessions, Past Life Regression, Deep Sleep Hypnosis, and Hypnotherapy Tested Techniques. I've not read this. Now, I'm not really into past life stuff because it doesn't really fit in with what I do. But what I've noticed is not every book, but most books that I've read on hypnosis, I learn something new, or I think three things. I learn something new, I relearn something that I've already learned, I get reminded of it. No, four things. So I learn something new, I get reminded of something that I've already learnt. I read a contradiction, something that contradicts contradicts itself, or it disagrees with something that I've already read previously in a different book. So then that gets me thinking, or which is true, me. You know, for example, some people say, there's some people argue between permissive and authoritarian hypnosis. Some people argue that things like stage hypnosis is bad for hypnosis, for normal therapeutic hypnosis like hypnotherapy. Some people argue, they go either side. There's people on both fences arguing. And then, I'm trying to think of another example. Yes, things like past life regression. Some would argue that's got nothing to do with hypnosis, and it should stay well away from hypnosis, because hypnosis is there for therapy, to help people in a therapeutic way, and it's not. And some would argue that past life regression and stuff like that is, I think the correct term is woo-woo. But then others on the other side would say, well, actually, I do past life regressions and it helps people. Or other stuff like talking to dead people, things like that, like using hypnosis for stuff like that. So I've got lots of books here, and there's a lot of banging downstairs. I've got these. Let me just show you this. Blimey, I've got to be careful I don't knock stuff off. So these are some small books, but they're also like, look, Sean Hughes, The Essential Hypnosis book. Now, you don't know, when you buy these on Amazon, or when I buy them on Amazon, I didn't realise it's 39 pages. So I've not read it, and it wouldn't take more than probably half an hour to read the thing. And it's not just it's big old writing as well. So if you put that at normal size ink or font, it'd probably be about 10 pages, long. So it's a little bit of I don't know, not quite sure what the right word is, but there might be something useful in there. Another book, Hypnosis, Powerful and Fast Working Hypnosis, Techniques to Hypnotize Anyone Now, by L. Jordan. Now, again, this is the same kind of book. Doesn't have the price on the back. I don't know how much it cost. I bought this a few years back. What does this say? There's a free gift inside the book. No, there isn't. Oh, wait a minute. No. There's a bookmark. Is that a free gift? Is that... Have you signed up for your free Jonathan Chase book? Jonathan Chase, I like Jonathan Chase. He passed away recently. So again, this could be interesting, this one. But it's a short book again. It's only like 60 pages, 65 pages. Hypnosis Quick Start Book. Why would I have a book? And this is even makes you realise even more that it's not necessarily, possibly, potentially, just potentially, and this is allegedly, the author of this book might not be an authentic. They might not be an authentic hypnotist. And he's like, why would you know? They might be, but based on the name, Max Trance. Now, I don't know who Max Trance is, but I'm guessing it's not a real person. I mean, it's a person, but so I could put together a book like this very easily. I mean, I'm not financially, but because it's cost a bit of money to do it. But it'd be very easy to put like a quick guide to hypnosis. I could do that off the top of my head. But there's so many of them. Is there any point? Hypnosis Beginner's Guide is another one. So Richard Cooper. So I haven't read all these. I think I've read some of them. But even though like this, a hypnosis, complete hypnosis for beginners crash course. Learn how to access your hidden magical powers in 30 minutes or less. What they mean is, it's another way of saying, read this book in 30 minutes or less. Because they've not even put numbers for the pages. Because it's that few. Look, that few pages. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 20 pages. Wow. And there's another one. Your amazing itty bitty intuitive hypnosis book. 15 simple steps to seeing inside the unconscious mind. I mean, at least it says it's an itty bitty. I mean, no one's going to buy this and get it and think, wait a minute, I thought it was going to be huge. I built a big cabinet just to hold it. I thought it was going to have like 10,000 pages. Oh, no, because this is itty bitty. You know it's going to be small. But the other books, the way they present them on Amazon, you'd think they're going to be big. And then I realised, look at the number of pages, because it does tell you on the Amazon website. So, hypnosis concepts. Tim Brunson. Now, Tim Brunson gets around he's got quite a few books, and even though it's a similar kind of situation, 60 pages, this are good. His books are good. What is this? Health, Crown House Publishing, Health, Wellbeing and Therapy Catalogue 2021. This must have come through with the books. Why am I even showing you this? So this is more of a book now, because this has got a few more pages. The Hypnotic Connection, How to Influence and Persuade Anyone. Dan Candell, I've heard of him. So it's 117 pages. Although, blimey, 4 of them are all bent back. That's not good. I don't like books when they're... That might just be me having stored them incorrectly. So a book, I think for a book to be a book, it needs to be at least 100 pages. Now, I don't expect things to be like 4,000 pages or anything, because I don't really want to read anything that big unless it's just a reference. Because I've got I'll show you my biggest reference book I've got. This is another one, Power of Your Subconscious Mind, Joseph Murphy. This is another one which is 132 pages. Another tiny one, Transform, Snacks for the Soul by Easton Hamilton. I mean, I'm surprised there's not a book by Cell Hypnosis. Blimey. Mastering Conversational Hypnosis, that's another one, by Noah J. Michael. Just choose a name. Noah J. No, Noah or J. Unless J. Michael is a surname, but there's a line between, or apostrophe or whatever, between Noah and J. Noah J. Double-barreled first name. Come on. Stop it. Unless Michael is the first name, and that's what they've done, thinking that that's a good way to put your name. Put your surname first. No. Unless, of course, it is. I don't care. User agreement. What's this? Using thought disruption patterns. Oh, let's read this. No conversation will ever go as smoothly as you want it to go. At some point, you will find someone who has disengaged from what you are saying, and you can see that they have done so. No. You know how to avoid that? Don't look. Don't look. If you don't look, you can't see. If you start looking around, if they start looking around, glance at their watch or begin to fidget, you're in danger of losing them, and you need to do something to get the conversation back on stable ground. Why? If someone's not interested in what you're saying, if like in a conversation, a human interaction, then you just need to go your separate ways, isn't it? What's the point? Why would you want someone to stick around if they're not interested? Unless you're trying to sell them something. You know, it's just you've got a sales job or whatever. Or I can't think of any other reason. I mean, really, for me, I used to notice that, and I think I noticed it after I started studying hypnosis, because I didn't realise that that the two things that made me realise that I was super boring, or that I had the ability to switch people off, like their brains, like just to, is my very first counselling session as a client, where my counsellor fell asleep. I've talked about that in the past. There's a lot of noise. Vinny's being very good. He's not reacting to any of the sounds from downstairs, which is nice. He went down there. I don't know if I mentioned this. He went down there on Tuesday. Yeah, Monday or Tuesday. My neighbour phoned up, said, "Do you want to bring him down?" I said, "Yeah, okay." Went down there, and he was down there for about an hour with her, and I just stayed up here and on my own, just had a little break. I went and collected him. He got, while he was down there, he got so excited he weed all over her bed. I really got excited, super excited. He couldn't control his bladder. Bless him. She wasn't angry or nothing. I said, well, if just sorry. There's a lot of shouting. I don't know what that is. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh, yes, weed everywhere. That was so funny. But, yeah, so my counsellor, the counsellor fell asleep whilst I was talking to her. I mean, literally it's only for a few minutes, but it's long enough. And the other one was, I remember I was in a nightclub, the comedy club actually, and the manager there, I was talking to him, and his eyes glazed over. And he was like, just staring, but he wasn't looking at me. His eyes were gone. His eyes glazed over. He was bored, so bored of what I was saying. Now, I wasn't trying to be boring either of those times, by the way. So, yeah, I wasn't particularly pleased. But the second time, I think I'd already studied a bit of hypnosis at that point. So I was starting to realise what it was. And I was naturally doing some of the hypnotic language or tone of voice or whatever, just naturally doing that. And then sometimes I used to play with it. Excuse me. I did. So during the disco, especially in like quiet moments, if someone came up to me, and they'd be the other side of the DJ booth, and I'd talk to them, and I'd start just talking, and their eyes would glaze over again because they didn't have anywhere to go with what I was saying, because it was making sense, but it wasn't making sense. It wasn't interesting, and there was no ending to the sentence because I just kept going, and therefore, because, and just get on and on, and it was amazing, and it's mainly because people are polite. If someone's polite and they're willing to just listen, they are more likely going to just drift off, not fall asleep like with their feet. With their feet? Can you fall asleep with your feet? I mean, not necessarily like doze off, but glaze over and almost stop. Just stop for a bit. Just like, it's a weird one. I should do it just to see if I could, really. Not in a bad way, just I'd be talking and then they'd be like, oh, what was I saying? I said, no, and we just carry on talking. And I only did it with people I'm never going to see again, and it was just for fun. But it would be talking about something, I'd start talking about something, and then I'd move it into the mundane, like really, that had nothing to do with what we were talking about. And it's amazing how far you can go. You start talking about aliens and lawnmowers, and you can nest things, like start talking about, and I've got a friend that does this and I cannot handle it because he does this naturally, and I can't listen to him because I don't want to fall asleep, and he does it, and he'll start talking about a friend. Then he's talking about a friend's friend, and a musician who his friends. Yeah, his friends had an uncle who went and saw a musician, and that musician's brother used to be a teacher, and it's impossible to follow. Impossible. I mean, just impossible. And I mean, he's a master of it. Honestly, I'm like his apprentice, if anything. But he does it naturally, like constantly. And I can't follow it. I can't follow that kind of conversation, because it's like I need in a normal conversation. If I'm talking to somebody, I need them to be factual. I need them to be to the point, and I don't. Vagueness doesn't work. Vagueness is brilliant with hypnosis. Um, Talking rubbish is great for falling asleep or to relax and stuff like that. But in a proper conversation, a normal one-to-one conversation, I can't handle it. I can't. I know I can be probably sometimes a bit like this in a conversation with someone, but I remember once a friend of a friend. I'm not. Don't worry, we're not going to do it. But she was a friend of a friend, and I was kind of friends of her as well. Kind of. And I remember I was around her house and we were talking, and she said something, and I answered, and she said, I said, "What?" She said, "Were you listening to me?" I said, "Yeah. Why would I not be listening?" She said, "Most people don't listen." I said, "I listen to everything. I hear everything people say." Oh, so she actually thought she could say something at me or to me while I was in the room and not hear what she said. Why would anyone think they could do that? It wasn't rude, but it was. I think she might have even said something about herself, putting herself down, and I pulled her up on it and said, "What would you say?" And like, "Oh, you heard that, did you?" I said, "Yeah, you're just over there on a chair, combing your hair, eating a pear." I don't know, but I've not actually been in a room where people have like me and two other people, and one of them said something that I didn't actually find particularly funny, because maybe I was in a mood, I don't know. And that person said, "Oh, some people haven't got a sense of humour," to the other person. Like, we're at the same table. How am I not going to hear that? I didn't acknowledge it because it was someone that I couldn't really acknowledge it to because of the situation, family and that. But I was like, I'm right here. How could it, what, are you five? Are you not aware that I can hear? Because you see that on buses, some of the school kids, and they'll be shouting, making fun of someone getting on the bus, maybe because they're overweight or whatever, what they're wearing. And the kids would be like in the middle of the bus or shouting out, look at that bloke with the glasses and the ferret. Or, I don't know. Or look at his little Jack Russell. He's so weird. Look at his big wobbly belly, his glasses, his bald head. And whoever it is at the front of the bus, his big pink face, so whoever it might be, I don't know, but whoever they were shouting at. And it's like, I feel like saying to them, I can hear you. I can hear you. I'm just standing here. I can hear you. Like, they're so unaware, maybe. Or maybe they just don't care. When they're sitting in a chair, maybe it's rare. It took too long, didn't it? That took way too long to come up with the next word. Yeah. I mean, even so, it wouldn't have been clever. I mean, rare, chair, rare. I mean, that was, can I have a steak that's rare? I mean, yeah. Yeah. Blimey. It was such a mare. Such a nightmare. Vinny's knackered. We went out in the sun earlier. He loved it. Loved being out there, but I think it tires him out a bit, this heat. It's been a very warm day today. It's a little bit stuffy in here because I've got all these lights on. I've got the windows closed. I've got the curtains drawn. So it's a little bit... Yeah, I've got the door closed as well. So not a lot of air. A lot of air in here at the moment. There's plenty of air. I mean, it's... Yeah, there's air. But, yeah, maybe not enough for him. Maybe. Maybe, baby, I have you. So, yeah, that's kind of it. Any more questions, Vinny? Hey? Why don't you leave me alone when I'm asleep? Sorry, I just wanted to include you in this. It's just a shame that you're so close yet so far away. Literally, he's just there, right next to me, but because of how low down this is, can you see him? I suppose, unless I move the camera further away, but I don't want it to be too far away. That makes sense. There's no necessary reason to have it too far away or too close. I don't know. He's fast asleep. Absolutely gone. He's gone. So this is kind of a Q&A Friday. It's not a very good Q&A Friday because it's been Vinny's questions. Not that it's not being bad, but it's not like a normal one. So I'll put Vinny's special next to it, and in the title. So we've got the weekend coming up. It's Saturday. It's Friday today. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, family get together soon, and then yeah, 26th of August is my birthday. I will be 54. Wow. 54. 54. It just this sounds wrong. Sounds wrong. 54. Come on. That's just what, really? 54 is just, yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, 20 years ago, 20 years ago, I was, so what is it, August, yeah, just after my 34th birthday, I got a job. In fact, I might have been in the Isle of Wight at this time, 20 years ago. Isle of Man, sorry, not Isle of Wight. Isle of Man. Which is ironic because I think I only saw 2 women the whole time I was there. Seriously, I didn't hardly see any women. It's mainly men. I might have just had a bad week. We got there just after the TT bikes. Because they have a racing week or weekend there every year. It's very famous, Isle of Man racing. Motorbikes. Motorbikes. And that had just happened. So we went there, I think, the week afterwards or 2 weeks after. He's completely gone. He's so asleep right now. I'm shaking him and nothing. Nothing at all. Vinny? He's so gone. I have to wake him up to get out because there's only a little gap about that wide for me to get out of here. Oh well. So I'm going to go. Um, this has lived up to its name. It's supposed to be boring, and it was boring. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're watching, please remember to be kind to yourself because you do deserve to be happy. Be gentle with yourself. Lots of love. Bye.